I think I'm missing something here. Okay, that's better. You probably have a gun. If you have a gun, you probably need magazines. Where do you carry those magazines? In pouches or placards. There are a lot of placards, and there's a lot of bad placards. And today, we're gonna cover my experience with the good, the bad, and the super duper ugly. So, tactical reload the like and subscribe button, and let's get into this. There are a lot of placards on the market, and for me, there are certain points about placards that are really important to me that I take into consideration when buying them. And today we're gonna go over just that with the help of my personal experience with placards. So to quickly get these out of the way, I started off with a little elastic triple rifle mag placard from Gear, and then I switched to a ABS flap triple rifle mag again. Then I went over to a Shaw Concepts ARC V3, I think, placard, and then I switched to the Heli Strategic triple rifle mag placard, or TRMP placard. And finally now I'm at the Cater flap, but I have briefly used the Dope flap from Ferro as well. But what are my actual, requirements for placards that make them good, bad, or, ugly? Like your For one, they should be versatile. So not just carrying rifle mags, but also maybe a flashlight, multi-tool, or something else, maps maybe. And they should also be modular in the case where you can quickly exchange, for example, inserts, or add new stuff onto them. They should also give you good mag retention, so they don't fly around, but they should also make it easy to access those mags fast, at least if that's what you need, and not, make you scrape up your thumb against your phone board trying to get a mag out. Cater flap. They should also be scalable to a certain degree, so where you can decide, I'm just going to carry 3 mags, maybe 6 mags, or maybe I just want 2 mags and a multi-tool or 2 pistol mags. I think you get what I'm saying here. And last but not least, it would also be nice if they are versatile in the terms of what ammo they can carry. So 5.56, 308, AK mags, pistol mags, whatever. So you don't have to always switch around kit when switching your guns, because if you play airsoft, you're likely into guns and have a couple more weapon systems than just one. Now, all the points that I made, so versatility, mag retention, scalability, and ammo versatility, are all listed from top to bottom in terms of how important they are. And that is really important, because I'm fine with a placard not allowing me to switch between MP or AK mags and AR mags in a blink of an eye, as long as it does all the other requirements, good, and I can actually use it for what I intend to use it for. And that is important for you to keep in mind. Let's quickly eliminate the 2 worst placards out there in my opinion, which is the ABS flap and the Cater flap. The ABS flap is not versatile or modular at all. It can only fit 3 mags, and that's it, nothing more. And it also doesn't allow fast access of mags or good reinsertion. And unless you put the flaps over it, so make access slower, it's also pretty bad in terms of retention. The Cater flap is cancer in nylon form, because, and I don't know if this is in frame right now, this thing is so stiff it doesn't allow pulling the mags outward or to the sides when pulling them out, which makes pulling them out extremely difficult if you have a phone board right here, especially with tall P mags, because usually airsoft mags are a little shorter than real mags, but these ones are the actual length, and they're also quite thick because they're P mags, making it difficult to get them out. And because the Kydex inserts aren't mounted on this side of the placard, only on this side, it also can be kind of difficult to reinsert them when you don't need them anymore. But the Cater flap is somewhat scalable in the terms of putting molly stuff on the front of it. However, the molly section is too short to actually fit, for example, the Blue Force Gear 10-speed AR pouches, which is kind of a bummer because these would work really well with a placard like this. So let's rank the other 3 placards in terms of worst to best, at least in my opinion and according to my experience. Starting with the Dope placard, which I have to clarify was from Gear, but the stitching and everything is the same. It has good versatility and modularity because the entire system is designed to be, modular, with changing up inserts depending on what you need. It can be just a pocket for general purpose, or 6 rifle mags, whatever you need it for. Really nice. It also allows for good mag retention, either with the bungee inserts or the retention inserts with elastic. But for me personally, it was kind of difficult getting them out, especially when there's a phone board above them, and because the Velcro would give in before the bungee of the retention inserts would give in and let me pull out the mag, which is really annoying because I took my plate carrier apart before you could even access the mag. It is scalable, however you can't really put stuff on the front unless you buy the proprietary Ferro MOLLE panel for the Velcro flag, but then again you can't mount like an elastic 10-speed to the front or something like that, or even to the sides, which hinders the scalability. While it does allow for ammo versatility with different inserts, it's not that great compared to other things that I've had, which is why it's at the lowest ranking position in my experience and opinion. Now, the Shaw ARC. Quick disclaimer, I did not use the Shaw insert. I used a mix of elastic and Kydex inserts. So I think, if you use the actual Shaw inserts, it will be way better. It has a good versatility and modularity since it has MOLLE on all sides. The front, the sides, and the bottom for mounting, tourniquets or stuff like that. And it also allows you, at least the newer model, to double stack AR magazines. You can also do quad stack or, have an elastic front insert for mags, which is, in my opinion, pretty cool. It has very good retention due to the Shaw specific insert, which is, in my opinion, really nice. And it also allows for good access of mags. However, I'm not the biggest fan of it because compared to the next placard, it is still somewhat tall and thereby you can't really pull the mags out to the side or front as much to, again, clear a phone mount or something, up here on your chest. But still, you can access the mags just fine, and the Shaw insert is great from what I've heard. As I said before, it has MOLLE on all sides. It is insanely scalable. There's a lot of videos on how to do that, so I won't go into detail, but just know that probably whatever you want to do with it, you probably can with the right product. And it does allow for good ammo versatility. Since it's so huge, you can quad stack AR mags, triple stack 308 mags, you can put MP mags into there, I think like 6 MP7 mags or something, which is really great. And since it is somewhat elastic, it allows a little bit more freedom there than the dope pouch. So that's the really good second place. Now let's come to my favorite placard, the Haley Strategic Triple Rifle Mag placard. Holy shit, I love this thing. Now, why do I love this thing? Well, this is very subjective and experience-based for me. This can be entirely different for you, but for me, it's the best placard out there, especially for airsoft. Because, and let's just work off the list again, so I don't skip anything important here. It is very versatile in terms of what you can put in it. And it is somewhat modular, but not as modular, for example, as the Shaw ARC placard, or one might even say as the dope placard. It has okay or good retention, but if you add the bungees, it has very good retention. But it has a super good, easy access of the mags once you need them. The scalability is, I guess, okay. You can take out the Kydex inserts and, for example, put like goggles in one of the mag pouches, or put something else in the bungee pouches in the front. Or you can add the MOLLE front flap thing that wraps around the placard to mount, for example, an ATAC panel or different pouches to the front if you want to. But again, it's not as good as, for example, the Shaw placard or the Spiritus MK5. I think it's the MK5, yeah. It is very good in terms of ammo scalability. You can switch between 308 mags, M4 mags, and AK mags basically on the fly. And that is really nice because, for example, for me, I want to buy a 308 build soon, but also a PDW build. And I still have that AR-15 build. So with one placard, I have all of these needs met without, changing up inserts, for example, like with the Shaw placard or the dope pouch. And with the elastic in front, you can, for example, have pistol mags stuffed in there as well if you don't want to carry a belt, which is huge for me because on longer games, I'm not a biggest fan of belts since they have a insanely short torso. But what do I mean with easy access of mags? Well, the Haley placard compared to, for example, the Cater or the dope pouch or the Shaw ARC placard is insanely short. So whilst the Shaw placard, for example, goes up until here, or the dope pouch, again, also up until here, or the Cater flap, again, worst pouch ever designed by man, the Haley Strategic one only goes up until here. But it still allows for good mag retention, which is surprising. But because it's so short, and it's also really, really elastic outside of the Kydex inserts, it allows you to pull the mag to the side or frontwards, and thereby easily clear any pouches or foam mounts you have, again, on your chest, which is huge for me. And this allows for super easy access of mags, but also because it's so elastic and still holds open, super easy reinsertion of mags that you don't need no more without looking. It's super easy and I love it. But the Kydex inserts can be somewhat loose, especially on Stanag mags or these thin and small airsoft mags, which is why it comes with bungees, which solve that problem really easily. But as only one of the parts about the placard that I love so much. I always want a flashlight and a multi-tool on my plate carrier somewhere that I can easily access, which is why I have this small little admin pouch right here. But this tends to bind up with my sling when I go from a low ready to a shooting position, which, can certainly be annoying and also hinder my performance. So having that, for example, multi-tool in the front elastic part of that placard is really nice. But for example, again, if I don't want to run a belt, I can put that extra mag that I have in there and the tourniquet that I have on that belt in that placard and still have the same ammo count that I had before, just without a belt. And it doesn't stuff up on my sides, making me more bulky or snagging on other stuff like my rifle sling. Now you might say, hey Blauling, then why don't you buy the Onward Research placard? Well, again, really tall magazine cells, which make pulling them out in different directions more difficult. And the elastic ones on the front are more M4 magazine or 308 magazine specific, and thereby won't work as easily with, for example, a Ride in the Rain, cam lights, cord, anything basically. Which is why I still prefer the Heli Strategic one. And again, with all of that, you can still stuff the Molly wing wrap, whatever, on the front and put a ATAC panel or something on there, which is really nice and also looks pretty cool, to be honest. So yeah, that's my experience, but that's not the only options on the market. There are some other placards that I have in mind, or I look at sometimes and think, I think I want that. I just realized that I had one of my lights turned off the entire time. Hopefully it doesn't impede with lighting that much. Great production value, holy shit. Anyways, one placard that really piqued my interest was the Unobtanium Gear Sleds placard. It's kind of similar to the Heli Strategic one, with the only difference being that when you have something in the front elastic pouch, it can be hard reinserting the magazine in the back because the elastic that covers the magazine pouch and the front elastic part is in the same cell. So if you have something in the front, it pushes back on the rear end, and again, it's harder to reinsert stuff. But they have a solution for that, which is another elastic placard that you can add onto that, which serves either as another M4 magazine pouch or to hold a Ride in the Rain, a tourniquet, whatever you need. But one thing that I am noticing with that one is that it's again somewhat tall and could get in the way when clearing a full mount. So yeah, in my opinion, the Heli Strategic Triple Rifle Mag placard is the most superior placard out there, again, at least for my use case. But what placards do you use, and what is your experience with all of these that I just mentioned? Let me know down in the comments, let other people know, help these people out when doing a purchasing decision, and maybe I might jump on a different placard train if you can convince me. So, until we see each other next time, LARP.